Hello, tacticians and strategists, warlords and mercenaries, noble knights, kings and queens. Welcome to Mount Blade Warband. So this is a quite older title from 2010, but it is a milestone in a way for action role-playing games that have strategic and also tactical aspects to them. And role-playing, a lot of role-playing. So I will show you this game. This is not going to be a complete let's play or anything. I just play into the game a little bit to show you. I had played it quite a while ago and played here and there. But I just, this will be more the introduction, and then I will upload certain highlights of my playthrough in the playlist. Yeah, because, well, we'll see. So let's start a new game. So welcome, adventurer, to Mount Blade Warband. Before beginning the game, you must create your character. Remember that in the traditional medieval society depicted in the game, war and politics are usually dominated by male members of the nobility. That does not, however, mean that you should not choose to play a female character, one who is not of noble birth. Male nobles may have a somewhat easier start, but women and commoners can attain all of the same goals, and in fact may have a much more interesting, if more challenging, early game. Yeah, let's continue. Well, yeah, we could, let's try a female. So, the thing is, being a female indeed makes things, you could say, more difficult, but it takes away certain things as well, because there are a lot of ladies in the game, and part of courting that's actually a thing that's more important for the mid to late game or the long term. But we'll get to that. So now we've got a lady, because for this introduction, I think it's as fine. So depending on the background, we will get certain aspects and certain bony to our skills, but we'll see to that. So let's say we are a traveling merchant, right? A female merchant. We were born the daughter of traveling merchants, always moving from place to place in search of a profit. Although our parents were wealthier than most and educated us as well as they could, we found little opportunity to make friends on the road, living mostly for the moments when we could sell something to somebody. We started to learn about the world almost as soon as we could walk and talk. We spent our early life as... So a page... So basically it doesn't matter so much, but if you want to specialize for a certain thing, then it might be interesting, but in my opinion, in the end, you want to be good at everything to a degree. I will tell you later why when you look at the numbers. So let's concentrate on someone who is actually going into the economic, going down the economic road, right? So let's be a shop assistant. As a girl growing out of childhood, we apprenticed to a wealthy merchant, picking up the trade over years of working shops and driving caravans. We soon became adept at the art of buying low, selling high, and leaving the customer thinking they'd got the better deal. Then, as a young adult, life changed, as it always does. We became, let's say, a university student, because we were smart, right? Though the distinction felt sudden to us, somewhere along the way we had become a woman, and the whole world seemed to change around us. We found ourselves as a student in the university of one of the great cities, where we studied theology, philosophy and medicine, but not all our lessons were learned in the lecture halls. We may or may not have joined in with our fellows as they roamed the alleys in search of wine, women and a good fight. However, we certainly were able to observe how a broken jaw is set, or how an angry townsman can be persuaded to set down his club and accept cash compensation for the destruction of his shop. But soon everything changed and we decided to strike out on our own as an adventurer. What made us take this decision was... Here I give you the tip, Wanderlust is actually probably the least desirable, but for the same reason, yeah, there is a bonus involved, so it doesn't really matter. So it feels more for me like, let's say, for personal revenge, yeah, because that makes us a little bit tougher in the fight, and we've been more the brainy person so far. I know you'll say, okay, well, females were not admitted to any universities in medieval times. Yeah, that's true, so let's say there is a certain fantasy aspect here. But only us, we know exactly what caused us to give up our old life and become an adventurer. Still, it was not a difficult choice to leave with the rage burning brightly in our heart. We want vengeance. We want justice. What was done to us cannot be undone, and these debts can only be paid in blood. Become an adventurer and ride to our destiny. What will the game savings policy? Yeah. We can quit without saving. So now enter your name and distribute your attribute, skill, and weapon points. So that's the thing here. We are, of course, hardball, even if a female hardball. So now we can see, depending on our background, this has changed our stuff, and well, as a merchant we are smarter than the average. But to survive we also need some physical prowess. So, by the way, the revenge gave us 1 strength point and stuff. So, let's say, and as we can read here, up here in the right top corner, the thing is, the attributes, they are mostly important for the skills, actually. So how high we can develop the skills. And the real bonus comes from the skills here. Iron Flash gives us +2 hit points. Power Strike, that's one of the most important things. Gives 8% melee damage. So this is really significant, and we can feel it. We will feel it significantly once this gets higher. Right, so, and we definitely want to do that one. So, however, strength needs to be at 9 for us to have this here at least at level 3. So right now I could only do it like 2, right? So 1/3. However, agility is also pretty important. Because Weapon Master is important for us to increase our ability. So we will be really bad at hitting anything or shooting at anything. And yeah, I mean, it depends what you like. You need power draw to shoot bows, to use archery, which is why I, as we will see in the later episodes in this playlist, I went for a melee fighter. You always need melee, in my opinion. And I went not for bow shooting for archery, but for crossbows, because that doesn't cost anything else. And as the boss, as the leader, we also want certain skills down here. So that's let's talk about that right now. So looting, for example, that's a party skill. But the thing is, party skills are usually something where you can have one companion later on that you specialize in it. But being the boss, if you have points here, you provide a bonus. So every 2 points gives a bonus of +1, I think, if I remember correctly. So we want to have at least 2 points in everything, in every party skill. Because that is just increasing our overall effectiveness, yeah, as a band, as a war band. So, and we have 9 skill points now. So, let's go here for Power Strike. As we are a lady, we are not so thick-framed, but let's go for agility. Yeah, I think we should probably go for agility first, so for 3, right? So athletics is important to run quickly. Horse archery is very good in my opinion, because on a horse you can ride away from melee fighters quickly and shoot at them. Yeah, so that's really good. And we come with riding 2 anyway. So we will start with the horse, I think. So this will be a good thing to do. Shooting from horseback, right? So otherwise looting is pretty important. Let's have 2 points in looting. Trainer is also very important, like in the long term, because then our troops gain something every day. Yeah, we train them, as we can see in the right corner, right top corner, right? Tracking is also interesting. That way we get information. We can follow enemies. Tactics is good to get an advantage. And pathfinding increases our speed, and that's actually very important to be quick. So let's get 2 of it. Spotting is also important, maybe to see stuff. Inventory management, we already have 2. Leader skill, as you can see in the top right corner, that's a skill that is only depending on our abilities, right? So wound treatment, we already have 1. Let's have, that's also increasing our own healing skills, like how quickly our hit points regenerate, right? Surgery reduces the chance of someone being killed. That's like also an economic thing. And because if our soldiers that we will hire are getting killed, then the investment is gone, of course, right? So we want to have a lot of surgery as well, in my opinion at least. So, and let's have 2 points there. I just invest in 1, so we have once we have someone, we met someone who is good there and who will specialize in wound treatment and stuff, we will provide a +1 bonus here. First aid is the same thing as a party skill. And yeah, we could also invest 2 points into engineer, like in the long term, but maybe not right now. So the persuasion is also pretty important, but at the same time, it's not really a huge factor. But let's invest 1 point, so we have 2. Prisoner management is a good thing. It's a good way of income. Let's get 1 point there. This way we get up to 5 prisoners that we can take. And there will be ransom brokers that we can basically sell our prisoners to. So, looking at everything, and by the way, intelligence gives 1 point of 1 extra skill point, and it's important for all the skills up there. So every skill is associated with 1 attribute, right? And the charisma increases our party size limit by +1. So it would be great, of course, to have the information how many people we can have right now in our party. But well, we don't have that information. But maybe let's. Now we are putting strength at 9 first, so we can increase the important stuff. Yeah, there is a lot of fighting. We are going to 9 first, and that's how I personally would recommend it, to concentrate on 1 attribute and bring it always +3 points up. So you unlock basically the next threshold to improve your stuff, right? And if you want to do trading, which is a good source of income in my opinion, then of course you want to have as much inventory management as possible. So, And for the moment we are pretty good there. Plus 6 inventory capacity per skill level, so we've got 12 already, so that's pretty fine. So let's increase our weapon skills. Or maybe, yeah, oh well, we have to do everything. Okay, so then let's increase one-handed. Let's concentrate on one-handed weapons and on crossbows. Right. And the rest, there will be tournaments. Let's do it like this. There will be tournaments. Yeah, and we can adjust our face. Oh, isn't she pretty? Isn't she? And yeah, we can actually change everything slightly. Yeah. Can also get some wrinkles, given the fact that this is a game from 2010. So this is yeah. This is actually not so bad. So right. Hair color, let's be red hair, right? I also like the slider. Let's do it like this. And we can by the way we can have different hairstyles. Or being bald. Let's have this one. Yeah. Slightly wild. And yeah, we could fiddle around a lot. I'm not doing that one right now. So, we hear about Caradia, a land torn between rival kingdoms battling each other for supremacy, a haven for knights and mercenaries, cutthroats and adventurers, all willing to risk their lives in pursuit of fortune, power or glory. In this land, which holds great dangers and even greater opportunities, we believe we may leave our past behind and start a new life. So we are a foreigner here. We feel that finally we hold the key of our destiny in our hands, free to choose as we will, and that whatever course we take, great adventures will await us. Drawn by the stories we hear about Caradia and its kingdoms, and this is the choice in which kingdom to start. It doesn't really matter much anyway, yeah, but I started in Swadia just for the lack of knowing anything. It depends. So Swadia is more like the Middle European or Northern European culture. Vegas are maybe something like Eastern European style. The Kyrgyz Khanate are more like steppe people, so nomads, maybe something like Mongols in a way, but it's all only loosely based on real world cultures, right? Kingdom of the North is inspired by Northern European Scandinavian cultures like the Vikings, the Rodoks, maybe something like the Scots without skirts, maybe, so like hill people, hill tribes that are also more leaning into a more democratic way, maybe, right? And the Saranid Sultanate, so that's like, basically Arab desert people, right? Like just culturally and from the style. So let's have them. We come with a caravan crossing the great desert to the east of Caradia. The Bedouin guides choose our route carefully, leapfrogging through treacherous dune fields and across empty gravel plains to low-lying oases, rich with orchards and date palms. Our great fear was that the caravan might lose its way and perish of thirst. The small bands of raiders who hovered just out of bowshot, waiting to pick off stragglers, were oddly a comfort. At least water could be no more than a day's ride away. It was a great relief when the mountains came into view. And on the evening of the following date, we crested a rock pass and in the distance could make out the sea and the towers of Charis silhouetted against the sunset. We are exhausted by the time we find the inn in Charis and fall asleep quickly. However, we awake before dawn and are eager to explore our surroundings. We venture out onto the streets which are still deserted. All of a sudden, we hear a sound that stands the hairs of our neck on end. The rasp of a blade sliding from its scabbard. Okay, Someone is there. Oh. The guy. He hit us. Oh, the merchant of Charis. Are you alright? Well, I guess you're alive. At any rate, I'm not sure that we can say the same for the other fellow. That's one less thief to trouble our streets at night, although heaven knows he won't be the last. Anyway, maybe you can help me with something. Let's talk more inside. Out here, we don't know who's listening. The merchant takes us to his house. Once inside, he stands by the door for a while, checking the street, and then, finally convinced we have not been followed, comes near us to speak. Okay, well, you probably shouldn't go into the house of any stranger, especially if you are an attractive lady. But well, let's still talk with him. We know our way with the knife, right? And we have the sword. So, no, let me explain my proposition. We've always had brigands in the hills driven to banditry by war, debt, or love of violence. Recently, however, they've been getting bolder, leaving their camps in the wild and venturing into town, looking for unwary prey. The watch commander tells us it's because of all the fighting on the frontiers, fewer men to keep an eye on the streets. But I'm not sure what to make of that. It seems to me that the most logical explanation is that these bandits have an ally inside the walls, who helps them enter unnoticed and helps them identify particularly tempting targets. Last week, you see, they took my brother. I don't know what my brother was thinking. A lad from a prominent house, out alone after dark and times like these. Well, I suppose you were too, but you're a stranger here, and I didn't know how bad things have become. We had no such excuse, but he's family, so what can you do? If you don't protect your kin, then people will start thinking that you can't protect your investments either, and I can't have that. No doubt the gang will soon send word about a ransom, but I don't care to pay it. So here's my proposition. You look like you've had a bit of experience with the blade, and more importantly, you must have a bit of fire in your belly, or you wouldn't be coming to Calaradia to seek your fortune. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Gather a small party, track down these bandits to their lair, teach them a lesson they won't forget, and get my brother back safe. In return, you'll earn my lasting gratitude and a bit of silver. What do you say? Well, that sounds actually pretty interesting. Also, we need money, right? You won't be able to do this by yourself, though. If you try and take on the whole gang single-handedly, the hunter will become the hunted, I'll warrant. You'll first want to round up a group of volunteers. There's always a few lads in the villages around here, looking for a bit of work that's more interesting than tilling the soil or hauling water. They'll follow you if you pay. So, take this purse of 100 dinars, consider it in advance on your reward. Go round to the villages and use the money to hire some help. I'll reckon that you need at least 5 men to take on these bandits. Very good, sir. I'll go collect some men from around the villages. Good. You can find me again in the tavern here in Charis after you've got your group together. Then we'll speak about what we do next. Alright, so you have taken your first quest. So and we can check it. L button gives us, yeah, so this is like the game log, recent messages. So we see we got 100 dinars from the guy. The notes gives us our quest, collect 5 men. Yeah, the merchant of Charis wants us to collect 5 men. So and then, very important, so as we can see, these are all the people in the game. Yeah, lots of people. They are all nobles. Now we are a commoner. Yeah, nobles have feasts. In feasts or on the feasts we can meet other people, especially if we were a man, especially the ladies here, these ladies. And some of them, the younger ones, and those that are not married, or well, actually all that are not married can be married if you are male, obviously. but you need to court them, and that is one of the game principles if you want to become king, right? So that's one thing. If you are a female like us right now, yeah, you can basically just ask the person who's not married, so like this guy, for example, he only has a sister, and if you like him, if you like his face, and maybe he's the Lord of Tismir, that's a small village, well, maybe this one here, if you want rather to have someone who's got already a castle or something, this is Emir Nuam. Well, firstly, he already has a wife, yeah. He also has a wife. Well, you can find someone, for example, yeah, a count. So this guy here is from the Kingdom of Swadia, for example, while the Kingdom of Rhodoks also has its nobles called counts. Yeah, and depending on the culture, they are also called differently. Like the Saranid Sultanate, that's this one here, has emirs, right? Jarls are with the Nords, and boyars are with the Kingdom of Vegas, as you can see with the style. Yeah, so the Kingdom of Vegas. So, and then you can always in the section with the characters, you can always check out who is who, yeah. And and by the way, the people who have as a second name Noyan, like this here, they are with the Kyrgyz Khanate. So in a moment we'll have a look at the main map, but firstly I think we have to run around a little bit. So, and characters and locations, you can easily find all the stuff. No one could probably remember all the names of all the villages, but there are cities that usually have a huge fortress and castles of different layouts, castles made of stone or wooden castles. Yeah, like these ones here. It depends where they are, what culture they come from. Now I just wanted to show a wooden one. Where is it? Is there anyone? Yeah, this one, for example. So here, TaleWorlds Castle, right? So the Nords usually have wooden castles, for example, and some Rhodok. Yeah, here you can find it easily and also have a look at the map. So faction gives a summary. Who's the vassal? That changes in time as well, because kings don't like disobedience and then they will throw out someone. Yeah, and we start with a war between the Kyrgyz Khanate and the Saranid Sultanate. The kings are usually at war with someone. Yeah, they are at war with the Kingdom of Vegas, okay. Kingdom of Rhodok is at war with the Kingdom of Swadia. Yep, they don't like each other. Or no one likes each other, actually. It's more a personal thing whom you like. Yeah, so everybody is usually at war. It is always the flood of wars. There's a flood and ebb. Yeah, it always goes back and forth. So that's the situation here. And now, if we are in a location, so this is more like flavor. You can't do much here. You just click the tab button and then you are quickly out of there. So this is the world. I know the graphics look pretty bleak, but this is 2010, right? So, and this was one of the first completely open world sandbox games where you can basically do whatever you want. That's why I'm showing you guys this one, because it's a game we should know about, in my opinion, because it's rather unique. So we have our party at the moment, just us. We also got a hit in the face, and here we can see we always get a +1 bonus due to our 2 points, right? Here, inventory, wound treatment and stuff. So, and we always, for the party, we always take the highest skill, and we add our leader bonus. And that's one of the reasons why we actually want to have the 2 points invested, in my opinion, because that's an easy thing. yeah, to get them. But on the other hand, of course, the skill points are limited, and it might also be good to be a very good fighter, because fighting is very important and happens pretty often. Yeah. So, but let's have a look. I'm clicking inventory, so we can, to a limited degree, put stuff on ourselves. On the other, fighting with swords. Okay, we came with the book. That's because we are a student, or we have been a student, right? So, but yeah, and we have a sturdy linen tunic. That's good. Come with the hunting crossbow. That's good. It's a very light crossbow that we can shoot from horseback. And we have this rusty sword. All right. So, and if we, yeah, and the thing is, so there are the cities, as we can see. Bigger names are always the cities. They have usually a huge garrison, unless they are being conquered. Yeah, so here 272 men. And there is Sultan Hakim's party. So the Sultan is the king, basically, of this faction here, the yellow faction, the Saranid Sultanate. Then we've got Rodok, the green ones. Usually everybody has 3 to 4 cities. And basically, like Dirim here, it's of course very contested. So later on in my playthrough, Dirim is in the end, or like at the point of this recording, is under control of the Kyrgyz Khanate. Yeah, so it is an ebb of war. So someone gets an advantage, grows stronger. For example, the Nords, which are the blue ones here, take Talburl, or rather Ribelay Castle, which happened actually. But then, of course, they need to concentrate their forces here, which weakens them in this direction. And then the Kingdom of Vegas, for example, they see, and that is like it was in medieval times as well, they see, okay, the army is away. Now we can actually start a war, start pillaging the villages, and maybe take Alburg Castle. So it's always a matter, it's always a risk to concentrate your forces too much and go on a campaign against someone, because that leaves your lands exposed to a degree, right? So that's of course the thing. So and then it just gets back and forth. Now we are not a vassal of anyone, so we are completely independent. Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. We are completely independent, and we can do what we want. My personal tip is, what I usually do, I started in Praven because I started in the Kingdom of Swadia. In Praven, you can actually buy beer pretty cheaply, for example, which you can sell to the Nords. And with the Nords, you get fish and other stuff. Yeah, and in time... excuse me, I just need to drink a sip of water. In time you will find out which prices are good, and of course the higher your trade, the better your prices, the prices for buying and selling stuff are, right? So that's the thing. So now we need someone to work for us. So let's go to the next village. Ayun Castle, you're now viewing the overland map, yeah. Right? And everything comes with a flavor, and there are different troop types. So here we are in the village of Ain Aswadi. We get a description how it looks, if it's poor, if it's doing good, and then if it's very poor, that means that it had been looted a while ago, probably. Or they had other problems. Yeah, so let's recruit some volunteers. Oh, there's no one here. Okay, we could buy stuff. In most villages you can buy something that is relatively cheap. Grain price is actually relatively high. Usually you can sell it for 35 to 40 or something. So let's get 1 grain. And let's get mid to mid-noon. There's someone. So, and on the world map, we sometimes encounter hostile or neutral or friendly parties, like this one here, Emir Lakem. And now we could check out, we could check out under notes and characters, Emir. What was the name? Lakem. Oh, I thought Hakem. Emir Hakem. Lakem, right? So this guy here. So that's him. What we know about him. Oh, there's controversy about him. Yeah, but we haven't heard much of him. But we know that he's the Lord of Karaf Castle, which is this one here. Ah, yeah. So he's close by and he's guarding his lands. So let's continue on. Okay, this village. Ah, we can have one person. Okay, can we buy anything? Flax bundle is very pricey, so you want to buy that one below 100. Pottery, well, it's actually nothing is really cheap here. But we need food, of course. And now we have one person, a Saranid recruit. That guy. So let's ride to Havaha. Would have been smarter to go around. I didn't think that there was no one here. Actually, because I think it's because we are female as well, right? Let's recruit some volunteers here. Okay, two guys. Can we buy anything here? Dates. Everything is very pricey, so let's not buy anything. Well then, and then we have to go into Road Dog lands, the green lands here with the Road Dogs. So they are also more the European culture. Aha, and there we see someone, deserters. That's actually a bad thing. But they are not looters, so they are actually mostly riding away, so they are not attacking us. Let's recruit someone here. Oh yeah. And the bad thing is we can always only take everybody or none. So what do we have here? Chicken, grain, grapes, and fish. Well, we could speculate and take the grapes with us. 63 dinars, and let's hope that we can actually sell that one in Sharis. But we need to hurry up because our army is consuming our food, right? So we have Rodok tribesmen and Saranid recruits now. So this is like the basic recruit, the basic volunteer. So, and if we fight and these guys get some experience, then we can upgrade them. And that is a very easy thing. So there is no equipment management or something or anything like that. But we just pay the money. That means we get them their equipment and then they are basically the next troop tier. We can talk with them. Tell me about yourself. Your orders, madam. Aye, madam. And then we can have a look at their abilities and also like a certain degree. So I guess the guy has a club or something as a weapon, but he comes with a shield, which is not so bad. Theoretically he could ride. He could shoot a bow, so it doesn't make much sense, by the way. But anyway, so he's not a good fighter, obviously, but he's better than we are, right? So that guy. Nothing, keep moving. And then in comparison, this guy. Tell me about yourself. He can run more quickly. Yeah. This is just a normal guy. Yeah. But he's slightly better with his proficiencies in the different weapon types. So, okay, let's ride back. Now we have 10 men. Double the amount. And the thing is, under reports, we can check out some basic things. So we can have our character report. We have a renown of 20. So this changes also what kind of or how many people will want to come with us as volunteers, right? Party size. And this one. So the base size is 30. Ah, yeah. And our leadership is plus 10. Charisma plus 7. So we could have up to 47 troops with us, actually. Weekly budget. Net change 9. Okay. So we can survive for a while. Yeah. And then we don't know anybody yet. The lords by relation, courtship relations. And that's the thing. So actually we would want, if we were a man, we would want to learn some poems which we can do in the city. And we will have a look at this one very shortly. So, but as we can see, the game concept is getting recruits from the villages, and then we need to train them, right? We could, by the way, attack this caravan now, but of course they have 12 guards with them, so that would be rather suicidal. Also, they have 4 skirmishers, 4 veteran footmen, so that's better infantry. And with our recruits, we have no chance. So, here we are in the city. We always get the information how the populace is towards us. And that is probably important if we were the lord of the city. How high the tax evasion is and stuff like that, right? So we could go to the castle, but now that we are a commoner, they will not let us in. Oh, they let us in, okay. Let's talk to the castle guard. We are not supposed to talk while on guard, madam. And sometimes, if someone is at home, we can find the person here and talk to them, right? But otherwise, there's nothing to do here. We could run around, although we are not supposed to be here in reality, but there's nothing. That's just flavor, I have to tell you. That's basically a bad thing. Yeah, I mean, it's a waste of time. So hitting tab, getting out of there. But it's more a flavor thing. So we can walk around the streets. We are doing that. So, but visiting the tavern. So here's the tavern. There are people here. So, tavern keeper, let's talk to her. Have you heard of anyone in this realm who might have a job for a woman like myself? Well, Sultan Hakim is often looking for mercenaries to fight in his wars. Let me think some more. I've heard that Emir Ukwais has been worried about bandits establishing a hideout in this area. You may want to speak with him. That's interesting. Emir Munir has been asking around for someone who might want work. I'd watch yourself with him now. He may want to speak. You may want to speak with him. Okay, and guild masters usually give us something, give us jobs. Okay, and then there are people here. Who are you? That's the ransom broker I mentioned before. So with this guy, greetings to you, madam. You look like someone who should get to know me. Why is that? I broker ransoms for the poor wretches who are captured in these endless wars. Normally, I travel between the salt mines and the slave markets on the coast on commission from those whose relatives have gone missing. But if I'm out on my errands of mercy and I come across a fellow dragging around a captive or two, well, there's no harm in a little speculative investment, is there? You look like the type who might have a prisoner to sell. So, and that's all we need to know right now. Yeah. So if we have prisoners, so I'm clicking P like party, we could, as we have learned already with our prisoner management, we can have up to 5 prisoners, right? If we knock them over with a blunt weapon and we're not killing them. So we, with our equipment right now, I'm hitting I like inventory. We could only kill people, I guess, right? Or there's a chance that they survive or something. But if we have a blunt weapon, then we can knock them over the head. That's a traveler. That's a merchant, the merchant of Charis. Okay, all right. So, but let's get out of the tavern right now. There's in every town, before we talk to the guy and go further with the quest, right? There in every town, not in the castles, only in the towns, there's an arena. Oh, the door's locked. Oh, well, we have to do this quest before, right? And then there's a marketplace. We could stand here and assess the prices. We're not doing that. At the moment, there's an arms merchant, armor merchant, horse merchant, and the goods merchant. Let's have a look at the goods first, because we are a merchant, so we can see date fruits are pretty expensive. But we are a beginner, of course, right? So, that's the prices that we have to live with for the moment. Leatherwork seems to be relatively cheap. like even with a higher level, I usually, a good place to sell it is for 200, but yeah. And we bought this one here, oh, for 67, okay. Well, that's not good, but maybe we get a level as well. Yeah. Okay, well, but that's something you just have to take a note or something to check the prices, but that's how it goes, yeah? Buying cheap, selling for a higher price to make a profit. Simple as that. It's the economy, stupid, right? Then the arms merchant. Oh, just a second. Yeah, sorry, I thought I needed to sneeze. There are lots and lots of different... Excuse me. There came the sneeze. There are lots and lots of different weapons according to a hit C-like character. According to our proficiencies, right? One-handed weapons, two-handed weapons, pole arms, like spears, lances, staffs and stuff. Archery for bows, crossbows, and throwing weapons like darts, stones, javelins and stuff, right? In the beginning, you want, maybe if you want to throw stuff, which is also a quick thing to do, you want to have stones that you can get from bandits, maybe. It's less so to inflict damage, but more to just get the skill going. So, and then there is, different stuff. Bent boar spear, wooden shield. Well, we could buy a shield, like this one for 56. We could do it. I'm buying it. Putting it there. But yeah, in the long term there are great weapons, and as we can see, the normal description doesn't come with any special description, but there is rusty, so it's of lesser quality, but that also makes the thing cheaper. We have a battered wooden shield, so someone it has seen some usage, right? And I'm just turning the music down a little bit, so. And that's what you want to look out for, like cracked. Yeah, that's reducing the price, but thick is a better description, so it's better. I mean, of course, you want to have better stuff, but it's also a matter of the money, right? Obviously, so knightly heater shield. I don't know, I think that's the normal description. But here, for example, a balanced weapon is better. And here we can see masterwork is great. As we can see, a balanced greatsword. Okay, no, we can't directly compare anything. But the different weapons come, of course, with different weapon behavior, basically. So, and we can see the weapon reach. Yeah, a long weapon like this great long bardage has a weapon reach of 155. That's great. And then an enemy needs to come close to us, right? Also, a great sword is 125 weapon reach. Yeah. So that's really nice to have, right? So, and of course you want, at some point you want the best weapons, like a masterwork weapon, or at least a balanced one, also like for your comrades. So we are paying. Let's have a look at the armor. There is a lot of good stuff. There's also, like with the descriptions, lordly or crude, yeah. Like thick, lordly, makes it better, but also way more expensive. Like these thick leather gloves, for example. They're all thick, okay. Yeah. So it can be actually a good thing, as we can see here, for 400. It depends on the item, of course, but it can be a good thing to rather buy something like this one here. It has +4 to body armor, like the crude scale gauntlets, right? So they have the same value, but the leather gloves are like half the price, right? So it's worth to look out for it. But of course, if you can loot it from someone, then such crude scale gauntlets, if you get them for free, basically, then of course it's a good thing. And then you don't need to spend 420 for thick leather gloves, right? So, and there is a lot of nice style. Yeah, and at the moment we could only dream of this one here for 80,000. Lordly Vaegear Elite Armor. Yeah, to raise that money is difficult and takes time. So, and I think we can just roll like this, but maybe, I mean, this here is not too expensive for 9. And we have woolen hose. But we could buy this arming cap for 7, or maybe even the padded coif for 14, 18. Let's get the padded coif, right? So like this. Right? Or as we are a lady, we are also concerned with our looks. Looks like this, right? Now, I think this is a good investment for 10. For 10 bucks. Let's return. So, and then there are different horses. War horses, that's also something we can only dream about. Hunter horses, sumpter horses. There are saddle horses, steppe horses, desert horses, and other stuff, yeah. So lots of stuff. Yeah, then let's go to the tavern and talk with the guy. The merchant of Charis. So we've got 5 men. Splendid work! You have hired enough men to take on these bandits. Now, travelers entering Charis have told us that there is a small group of robbers lurking on the outside of town. I suspect that they are all from the same band, the one that took my brother. Hunt them down and defeat them and make them disclose the location of their lair. Well, very well, I shall hunt for bandits. So, just hitting tab, getting out of there. So, and the notes, hunting for bandits. Ah, that's these guys. So, if you start a quest, then often if you are supposed to hunt for robots, often in the viewing range around the location, you can see them, and then it's a good idea to get to them as quickly as possible, right? To make it a priority. So this is our quest. Yeah, find and defeat a group of bandits lurking near Charis and learn where your employer's brother has been taken. So let's get to them. Oh, I've been looking for you. Tell me where you keep your prisoners and I'll let you go. That's our intimidating voice, right? After he asks, what do you want? Oh, those prisoners are only going free if you pay their ransom. Did you bring any silver? No, but I brought steel. Let's charge the enemy. So, there we go. And now we can actually... Oh, we are on a horse. Yeah, so here are people. We can choose everybody, give movement orders, charge them. Yeah, or rather, fire orders, fire at will, if you have anything. But I guess they will only throw stones or something like that guy, right? So I'm hitting shift. Ah yeah, we shot the guy, and as we are so low, we immediately, yep, very good. Shooting from horseback, and now like this, while riding, as you can see, it's way more difficult. Let's ride him over. There you go, right? And he got knocked unconscious, very good. Casualties, I think we had none. Okay, so, very good. Very good. A very nice victory, right? Very nice victory. Here, so, hitting tab. Our casualties none, 3 loot, 1 kill, 2 wounded. That's great. So we have prisoners. Aye, spare me alive, or let me go and I'll go far away from here and learn an honest trade and you'll never hear of me again. I'll spare you life, but in exchange I want information. Either you or your mates kidnapped the brother of a prominent merchant in town. Tell me where you are hiding him and give me your word that you'll stop troubling the people of these parts and you can go free. Oh, bless you, my lady, bless you. We've done the lad no harm. We've been keeping him in our hideout near Aina Swadi. I'll describe the area nearby in detail, so there's no mistaking it. Okay, so but we have 2 looters now. We can capture them, right? We knocked them over the head, and we have 2 prisoners now. That's good. Ah yeah, we have stuff. Oh, a Falchion, okay. Is that better than our rusty sword? We can swing for 24. Oh yeah, that's way better. However, it is 98. Yeah, it's just slightly less quick to slash with it. Although we have some more tactical choices with this one, as we can also thrust with the sword. We have a ragged nomad armor, and I think we are dressing up like a nomad now because that provides way better protection, right? Although we are not looking so good with it, but yeah, looking good is less important than staying healthy. So, right, we can put this one here over there. We had a better one, or we can just control click and then we get it in here. So these are the stones I was talking about. And as we can see, the speed rating 97 is pretty high, while speed rating for the crossbow is 47. Yeah, so if I wanted to go into throwing weapons, and that's actually a good idea to know everything, because there will be tournaments, and there it is a coincidental thing which weapons you get in the beginning. So it's important to become a good knight and everything, right? Like here, like knowing everything. But by using everything, you will pick it up pretty quick anyway, as we just saw, right? I just made one shot and hit the guy, and we got 1 point in crossbows more, right? So let's get back to Charis, visiting the tavern. And by the way, yeah, that's actually very nice that I can demonstrate this one here. So this is the ransom talker. Greetings, if you have any prisoners, I will be able to and happy to buy them from you. Then you'd better bring your purse. I have got prisoners to sell. Let me see what you have. And this is a good way of income. Yeah, this is like level 1 troop, like the cheapest troop. And we already get 32 dinars for everybody. I will be staying here for you for a few days. Let me know if you need my services. Okay, and then here, Merchant of Charis. Let's talk to him. So you found out where they hid my brother. Splendid work. I flatter myself that I'm a fine judge of character, and you look to be a woman who can get things done. Now go out and save his unworthy hide. Very well. I go now to attack the bandits in their lair and find your brother. Okay, hitting tab again, we could hire this guy. Mercenaries, however, are very, very expensive, and we wanna probably find other solutions. So now we are here in this screen. I am hitting P like party, and here we are, and we see this plus here. And now we can we can upgrade someone for 10 dinars, buying the stuff, and let's do that. Let's have 1 crossbowman, right? Unfortunately, there's no way to see how they develop or anything. I'm just hitting crossbowman. Aha. So this guy comes with a spiked pike or something. Or like a spike thing for close combat, but otherwise he will shoot his crossbow. And that's probably a good thing to have some way to shoot before we engage. Let's talk to the guy. Tell me about yourself. Show me the skills. Ah yeah, so he's got Iron Flesh already. He's level 10. 1 power strike. He's better. 85 points. Starts training with shield, although he doesn't have one yet. He's quicker with athletics. Yeah. So, yeah. Comes with 49 health points. So that's all we can do and get with these guys. So let's go to the marketplace. And Yeah, I mean, let's try out the Falchion first before we sell it, right? Armor merchant. Let's sell everything that's worth. Like, we can keep the tattered nomad armor. Maybe if we find a companion, right? Let's keep it like this. We keep this stuff in case someone shows up. Although it will not happen right now, I guess. Because in the tavern there was no one, right? We can walk around sometimes. That's everything. Sometimes in some taverns, in some cities, there are other rooms. So let's leave the area. And our note, attack the bandit lair. Find the bandit lair near Ain Aswadi. And that's there. And we already have the kidnapper's hideout location. So let's go there. And as we can see, our character, we didn't get a level yet, right? But with every level we get one attribute point, one skill point, and depending on our agility, oh no, I think, or maybe just a given amount of weapon points per level, I think. But with every point of agility that we invest, we get, as we can see in the description, 5 additional weapon points, while for every strength point we get 1 additional health hit point, with every intelligence point 1 additional skill point, and for character charisma we get the size limit increased. So in this sense, intelligence is actually an important skill, because the skills are pretty important and significant. Oh yeah, by the way, we could attack the looters, but let's go firstly to the kidnapper's hideout. Village farmers. Oh yeah, by the way, oh yeah, no, that's fine. I'll talk about that later. Let's go into the kidnapper's hideout. So we approach the hideout. The looters don't appear to have spotted us yet, and we could still sneak away unnoticed. The difficult approach to the site down a narrow defile or defile means that only a handful of troops in our party will be able to join the attack, and they will be unable to bring their horses. If our initial attack fails, the looters will easily be able to make their escape and disperse. Yeah. Let's attack the hideout. Here we are. Okay, our guys. This is our group. Everybody, movement orders, charge. I mean, they were charging anyway. So let's flank. But we see these guys. It appears to be a coincidental thing. Yeah, like the stuff they get. Is there anybody? Anybody there? We have them as complete. So it's a complete surprise, right? Is anybody there? Okay, and as you can see, the graphics are really crude, but functional. Ah, yeah, there's someone. Let's have a shot. I'd rather not shoot our own guy. There's someone. Let's. Oh no. Okay, let's. I hit a friendly troop. Oh no. One of our guys. There you go. Very good. So I'm sorry, I actually caused the death of this guy because I hit him. I think. And there's someone coming. But it's also a good thing. Of course, I did that deliberately to demonstrate. So you can actually hit your own troops, and that could cause bad stuff like this, right? So you want to be careful. Thank you, my lady, for rescuing me from those fiends. Did my brother and Charis put you onto their track? Yes, I told him that I would find you. I advise you to return to your family as quickly as you can, and be careful on the road. With their retreat cut off, the looters fall one by one to our determined attack. Their hideout and their ill-gotten gains are now yours. are ours, so that's good. So we can wear the ragged nomad boots. We are not thinking about the smelling feet that have been in there before. Is there anything? They have a rusty falcon, so this one is better. A thick rawhide coat, it's worse than our thing, but they have a better nomad, a normal nomad armor. Let's wear that one. Yeah, there's butchering knives and other stuff. But they have a club as well, so if we wanna club someone, that's actually a good thing maybe, as an alternative weapon. We could do that, and rather throw stuff, right? We could do that. To club someone over the head and sell them as prisoners. So let's get everything. I'm clicking Control and left mouse click. Everything. We are getting as much of the stuff as we can as loot, which we will sell for only a very little bit of money, and that's it. That's all we can take with us. We lost someone. Some soldiers are ready to upgrade. Okay, this guy, Serenade Footman. He looks like this. All right, let's talk with the guy. Tell me about yourself. His hair color also changed. I met him. Let me tell you all there is to know about me. Okay, he's got athletics. Yeah, his skills have increased. So the Serenades, in my opinion, they are maybe they are better horsemen. Yeah, not such good infantry fighters. They are really good archers. But that's it. So let's keep moving. And as we can see, their weekly wage is it's now 4 times as much as a recruit, right? But we have to do it. So now it costs 18 dinars. But these guys are, of course, with level 9, health 45. Keep moving. They are significantly better than a tribesman, for example, right? 4 points more. Yeah. Better fighting skill. So let's do that. And by the way, we don't have any prisoners. Okay. So let's get back. We are in fine health. There were some deserters around. There. So let's get them. The looters. That's actually a good thing. Let's get them. Surrender or die. What do you want? Surrender or die. As you wish. Prepare to die. Charge the enemy. Everybody. Movement orders. Everybody charge. And everybody. Fire orders. Fire at will, right? Or are we here? Oh, let's stay actually. Movement orders follow me. Now I wish. I wish. Can throw the stone. We do have one crossbowman, right? Where are you? You're there, alright. So fire orders, fire at will. So as you can see, throwing at them, we are already getting. And now, charge, everybody charge. Using horseback. It's actually a good thing. You can just smash them like this. Or not. They can also. Very good. Very good, right? Oh, the blood. We love the blood. Oh, and the guy had a bolt in his guts. Alright. So this is what we just did. We had no casualties, 1 wounded, okay. And now we got renown and we gained, our army got morale. And the thing is, it's pretty important. We can capture one of the looters. It's pretty important to fight often, because that increases the morale and the morale will drop after a while. So this forces us to attack people often. Ragged. Yeah, okay, this is not better. But now we have stuff that is worth more, so we are just exchanging this one against the items that are actually worth less, like this. And this is of course a little bit tedious, but certainly worth it in terms of money. Butchering knife, how much is this? 52. Oh yeah, so these wrapping things like this, right? This is how you play the game if you want to be successful, right? So clap. Let's end it there. Also, so like, no, sorry, that's the character. No, our character. No, the report. Our renown has increased, so we want to have a lot of renown. That's important. Because then people will follow us. There are more looters there. The tribesmen, and let's have one spearman now, right? So this is the guy. Let's talk to him. What can you do? Tell me about yourself. So he comes with better gear, and he's also pretty good. So the road dogs actually have pretty good troops, but they don't have any horse riders, I think. So they are purely like hill people, concentrating on strong infantry and strong crossbowmen. And that gives us, you know, it depends on our tactics and of course on the geography. So in very hilly areas, mounted troops, of course, are at a disadvantage. And the nice thing about this game is that we can really play that one out in the action, directly in the action. So, and we can see the guy is tougher and comes with a power strike, right? So, let's keep moving. That's the thing. And that is the whole game concept. Let's go back to Charis just to finish up the quest. Visit the tavern. There's the merchant of Charis. Well, my brother is home safe. I'm not sure what to do with him. Maybe pack him off to a university outside Calradia. That way, if he gets knocked on the head in a street brawl, no one can say it's my fault. But that's not your problem. Here's the rest of your reward. It was well earned. The money is most welcome, and I am glad to have been of service. Good. Now, are you interested in making some more? Possibly. What do you need? Remember how I told you that the bandits had an ally inside the walls? I think I know who it is. The captain of the watch, no less. Some months ago, this captain, seeing the amount of profit we merchants were making from trade across the frontiers, decided to borrow some money to sponsor a caravan. Unfortunately, like many who are new to commerce, he failed to realize that great profit only comes with great risk. So he sank all his money into the most expensive commodities, and of course his caravan was captured and looted and he lost everything. As a consequence, it seems, our captain turned to villainy to recoup his fortune. I supposed I'd do the same if, the heavens forbid, I ever faced indebtedness and ruination. Now, any watch captain worth his salary will have a few thieves and robbers on his payroll to inform on the rest, but our captain decides to employ these bastards wholesale. He brings them into the town, lets them do as they will, and takes a share of their take. You've heard of poachers turning gamekeepers? Well, in the unfortunate land of Calradia, sometimes gamekeepers will turn poacher. Luckily, there's are still a few brave, honest souls in the watch who've told me how he works. Now, here's my plan. I could bring this to the attention of Sultan Hakim, lord of the city, but that would mean an inquiry. My word against the captains, and witnesses can be bought and evidence destroyed. Or maybe the whole thing will be forgotten if the enemy comes across the border again, and all I'll get for my trouble is a knife in the ribs. In time of war, you see, a king's eye wanders far from his domain and his subjects suffer. So I've got another idea. I've got a small group of townsfolk together, some men in my employ and some others who've lost relatives to these bandits, and we'll storm the captain's home and bring him in chains before Sultan Hakim. Hopefully with a few captured bandits to explain how things stack up. All I need now is someone to lead my little army into battle, and I can't think of anyone better than you. So, what do you say? How do I know that you are telling me the truth? Oh, well, I suppose it's possible that I found a dozen bandits who were willing to give their lives to give a passing stranger a false impression of life in old Charis. Well, I guess you can't really know if my word is good, but I reckon you've learned by now that my money is good. And there's another 100 dinars, or maybe a bit more, that's waiting for you if you'll do me this last little favor. So what do you say? Well, okay, 100 dinars is convincing, a convincing argument. All right, we'll lead your man. Splendid. It's been a long time since I staked so much on a single throw of the dice, and frankly, I find it exhilarating. My men are ready to move on your word. Are you ready? Yes, give them the sign. Good. Now strike hard, strike fast, and the captain and his henchmen won't know what hit them. May the heavens be with you. We leave the tavern, go out to the streets. Nervous-looking young men are waiting in every street corner. We can see they have daggers and clubs concealed under their clothes, and catch a mixture of fear, anticipation, and pride in the quick looks they throw at you or at us as we pass by, praying that our enemies have not been alarmed by this all too obvious bunch of plotters. We check our weapons for one last time and prepare ourselves for the action ahead. Okay. It's time, lads. Up and at them. So like, I like this. So sorry. Did he just kill the guy or the townsman? Okay, sorry, I messed that up a bit. So there we go. Here I have this one. Very good. Slashing and smashing. We can also kick. Oh, that's a very bad idea here. Oh no! And that's what happens. And that's what happens if you die. You fall down with that last blow, unable to move and trying hard not to pass out. Soon the sounds of fighting filling the street gives way to the cheers of the townsmen, and we realize with relief that our side won the day. Soon friendly arms pick us up from the ground and we let ourselves drift off to a blissful sleep. Hours later we wake up in the merchant's house. Ah, you're awake. You took quite a blow there, but good news, we defeated them, and you did them some real damage before you went down. If you hadn't been here, it could have gone very badly. I'm grateful to you. Unfortunately, about 12 of my lads got themselves wounded. I should go look onto them. Ah, well, I guess I don't mind a blow taken in a good cause. Yes, yes. Now, a couple of my boys have the watch captain pinned down in a back room with a knife at his throat. I'll need to go drag him before Sultan Hakim and explain what this breach of the peace is all about. You don't need to be part of that, though. I'll tell you what, if all goes well, I'll meet you in the tavern again shortly and let you know how it all came out. If you don't see me in the tavern, but instead see my head on a spike over the city gate, I'll assume you know enough to stay out of town for a while and forget this whole episode ever happened. So, hopefully we'll meet again. Alright, so, of course, guys, I fought so badly deliberately, of course, just to show what happens. So, as we are the main character, we cannot really die, but we can be taken prisoner, we lose money, yeah. So, let's get out of there. And the thing is, I'm hitting P for party, now we see we are wounded, right? So, and that's what happens. If something bad happens to us, right? And in the meantime, we can't really fight well, but we can send our guys into a battle, but that's usually not recommended. So let's get into the tavern again. Maybe someone else has shown up. Good, there's the ransom broker. Let's sell. Let's sell this guy again. Sell him. Good. And yeah, then the traveler, let's talk to him. Yeah, and we can it's very limited, by the way. So I think, I mean, the game is a role-playing game, but it's very limited what kind of interactions you can have. So this is more like basic background. So I'm not reading it right now. You can read it if you want. Tell me about these opportunities. You can read it for yourself if you want. But this here is, you can find, the guy just told us that there are people who are questioning the rule, the legitimacy of the rule of the kings. There's always someone, and we can actually support that person to become the new king or queen, and that way we have, of course, a very favorable standing to that person. But it's also pretty hard, I guess, to overthrow an established ruler, right? But I'm hitting L like log. Like the factions, I think. So like here, yeah, King Harlaus, as we can see. We can't see it yet. But usually then there is some information here. If people are disgruntled and stuff, yeah, you need to send one of your companions to get information on that scale. So that, like, that strategic scale, right? So let's get back to the marketplace, arms merchant. And now we can actually, I just wanted to demonstrate, right? So of course we wanna, in my opinion, it's a good strategy to run up with the loaded crossbow, shoot once at someone, and then switch into melee mode. As we have seen, the Falchion, it is stronger in swinging than the sword. However, it is also, in my opinion, problematic because it's reducing our attack modes, right? So we can swing left and right and an upper swing, but we cannot thrust. So the sword is actually better because the enemy can also block the attacks, right? So, and as we have seen before, I'm just selling all the stuff now, clicking control, left click. As we have seen, if you let enemies bunch up on you, then even weaker guys make short work of you, right? I mean, only if you have a really good armor, then you are relatively immune to low tier attacks, but they beat you up pretty quickly. So what you never want to have is a situation where a lot of people are beating you up. Yeah. So and so far that was a pretty good demonstration. So. And now we don't have anything here. And then for the final thing, let's have a look at the tavern again. Is the guy back? Let's talk with him just to finish this one with the merchant of Charis. Hardball, things didn't go quite so well as I had hoped. Sultan Hakim couldn't quite find it in him to overlook my little breach of the peace. Oh, he's grateful enough that I got rid of his crooked captain, a guard who let in bandits who let in an enemy army if the price is right. But he can't exactly have me running around here as a lasting reminder of his failure to take care of things himself. That hardly seems fair. Fair? This is Calaradia, my lady. Kings do what they will, and the rest of us do as they must. He didn't string me up and instead gave me time to sell my properties, even put in a word with the other merchants that they best pay me a fair price too. That's gracious enough, as kings go, but he's a weak king, as they all are here, and weak kings must always look to their authority first and justice second. I suppose I'll do the same in his shoes. Anyway, I wouldn't go rubbing your part in this affair in Sultan Hakim's face. But he's taken note of you and decided that you're not worth hanging, and that's something to which I'll raise a glass any day of the week. He might even have work for you further down the road, or you can sell your sword to one of his competitors. Anyway, I hope you've learned a bit about what it will take to stay alive in this troubled land, and I suspect that the money you've earned won't go to waste. Good luck. Okay, that's it. This is all we can do with the guy. Yeah, and he's going to leave town. Hitting tab again to get out of the tavern. And now we can walk around the street. Every town has its unique situation, which is actually, if we besiege the town at some point, that's the only significance here actually, because we need to get to the castle. We need to fight through the streets. What we could do here is, of course, this is the horse merchant. Yeah, we could talk to him instead of clicking through the list like I did before. It is, of course, it's more like a role-playing thing that way. Who's this? Ah, this is the Guildmaster. So that's more the role-playing thing, but it's of course also a time investment. But what we can do here, like in this free running around situation, is find the Guildmaster of every town, and with that guy we can actually interact a little bit. That gives us some useful options. Like, let's do that, and we can talk with them. I'm not reading this one. You can read it if you want for yourselves. Who rules this town? Yeah, okay. But it's really fairly limited actually. So, but what is important is if he has a job for us. So, but I'm just clicking this one if you want to read it. Politics. Yeah, what's the cause of all these wars? What is Sultan Hakim's policy? Yeah, and then we can ask about what the thing is that we also know from the notes section that I already showed you, right? Internal affairs, yeah. So the guy gives us a little bit more information, and that's all. And then we can ask him how trade is. So they have shortages, yeah, which means that the prices are a bit higher if we sell the stuff here, right? So that's one important information. And then we can ask him to compare the town with the rest. So Charis is more like in the middle area. But yeah, I mean, that's more like a flavor thing in my opinion. And how dangerous it is here. Yeah, because in the end you are just going around anyway, and you need to go around. But if you are very weak, then of course it might be reasonable to stay away from very, very unsafe regions, right? So, and then we can do a second, in the long term, very important thing. We can buy land in the town for productive enterprise. Very good, my lady. We in the guild know and trust you, and I think I could find someone to sell you the land you need. So that's probably because of our background as a merchant. I'm not sure, but or maybe because we are at 0 relationship. They are indifferent in the town itself, so they would sell us stuff. But sometimes you have to work for them to increase your standing with them. So, and we can do stuff here. Yeah, to invest something. We can, in every city we can have one enterprise, and it depends what is a good thing or not, right? So like, for example, a brewery to make ale from grain. Very good. So, and then he will describe how much that will cost and how much money that would make per week. So this one is estimated to bring a profit of around 168 dinars per week. In peacetime, of course, unless they are, not under siege or anything, right? So, and we don't have the money, of course, but and the best thing is actually a weavery and dye works to make velvet from silk and dye, as we can see, right? That makes 540 dinars a week. Right, so, and that's what we can do. And we can, so, and the thing that we most often will do is to ask for a job. One of the merchants here is looking for herdsmen to take his cattle to the market at Suno. Well, let's do that. Yeah, let's go with the cattle, but I'm not just showing this. I'm hitting tab now because otherwise there's nothing to do here, or except one thing. I'm just showing this one as well. If we find out that a noble is imprisoned, then sometimes we can, once we have access to a castle, as a commoner, we need good standing with the people. Here, this is the weaponsmith. As a commoner, we need good standing with the rulership to get into the castle in the first place. And then a lady, usually like either the mother or the wife or someone who was imprisoned, gives us a quest and asks us to break them out of prison or to ransom them. And then we need to find the prison, the dungeon, and hear the prison guard, and we can talk to the person. Talk to him who is imprisoned here. Currently no one is imprisoned, but then he would say that someone is here, and then we need to get in contact with the person, yeah, and then maybe break them out. So I'm hitting tab now, getting out of there. That's pretty convenient. Wherever we are, we can always hit tab to get out of there. And now let's leave, and now there is the cattle herd. And this is like the most annoying quest probably, and I wouldn't take this one. So we are supposed, notes, move cattle to Suno. Clicking Suno, where is it showing on the map? It's ages away, right? So like it's really far away. And now you will see, so the cattle herd is here, right? Let's talk to it, drive the cattle onward. And so now we need to walk behind it. But in terms of time investment, yeah, you need to drive it like so. Behind it. Like in terms of time investment and the money we get for that, it's really totally not worth it. I mean, maybe right now in the beginning, it might be okay. But it's also extremely, like in real time, it's really, really annoying. In my opinion, it's better to scum save and scum load before asking the guy, because if you have talked with him about the job he's offering, then you are locked into the job. Yeah, so, and then it's better not to talk with them. So always save before, that's a very important tip, like for your convenience of playstyle. In my opinion at least. Always save the game before you talk with the guild master, and then decide if you can actually do the job or not. Because if these are, for example, also bandits that you need to attack, they could be way stronger than you are, or they are just, you don't see them and you can't find them. And if you have to run around half the map to find them, then it's also not worth your time. Oh yeah, by the way, so someone is raiding the village right now, but we don't see anything right now because we don't have the spotting. Yeah, and that's the game. So I have to say, and now, yeah, this is the game. You get some quests. It's relatively limited, but also sufficient to get some, to get some variation in it. You can, or maybe one thing more. Oh yeah, they are at war actually. So one of them is probably like one of the Swardians. This is the kingdom of Swadia. Is probably raiding the village right now, and they come to support, right? With right mouse click, you can freely change the camera angle. With mouse wheel, you can zoom in and out. Also turning around and stuff. Yeah. However, there is no there's no easy way to center our party, right? Because if I click left, like here, then he walks there, so that's really inconvenient. And if I click right, left, no, there's nothing there. So it's only if we start moving, then it centers on our party again. So by the way, so let's talk with the cattle herd, bring the herd to a stop. And it waits here, so this is Chitbin. And by the way, so we are healing, yeah, because we have wound treatment and stuff. So we are at 100% health right now. I just wanted to show you Chitbin, what we can do there. We can recruit volunteers. I'm not doing that right now. Go to the village center, because this is also a thing. And there's always a village elder. Yeah, so not only the guild master, but also village elders, and we can talk with them. And we can ask them if they need help with something. He doesn't need anything. And they also have sometimes cattle herds and stuff. You can buy supplies. You can buy cattle for yourself. That's one of the quests that Marshall gives you, to give them stuff, but that's also relatively annoying. Or you can buy food and supplies via this interaction here, right? That you leave hitting tab again. Otherwise, there's nothing else to do. You can talk with people. Now it's night, no one is on the streets, but you can talk with them. And usually there is only limited interaction and nothing else to do. So it's basically just flavor. And then via this list here, you can go into the buying, selling stuff. I mean, if you want to waste your time, then you can do the full role-playing thing that you run around. But I'm very happy with this game that you have just the option. Here, grain is cheap for 8, by the way. Bread is also cheap for 31. Rest is very expensive. We must pay 39 dinars. So, and of course we could rob them or steal their cattle, right? And then slaughter the cattle or whatever. So let's get back here. Let's hope our cattle is still there. Good. No robbers. Drive the cattle onward. Yeah, so that's the thing. And that's how the game goes. Otherwise, you can talk with people, ask them if you can do something for them. You can sign up as a mercenary, for example. Right now we are too weak and yeah, too shabby basically. But and it would depend on the number of guys we have in our employ. So, but we can see Tsuno right there in the distance. There it is. There we would need to drive the cattle. And that's, by the way, oh yeah, and there are looters again. There are also bandits and other people. Yeah. Let's go here. This is Noma, and here we could, by the way, yeah, let's recruit some Swardians. What do they have? They have pork, cheese, dyes, very expensive. Salt, very expensive. Oil, extremely expensive. Let's leave. Let's run after our cattle, so the cattle is running away, just like that. Very annoying. Oh yeah, and they go, okay, no, they didn't attack us. They are forest bandits. Okay. And by the way, the Swardians, so they are also just civilians. Maybe let's attack the... yeah, no. We're not doing it right now. It's too far away. Maybe if we see someone else. Ah yeah, so there... Oh yeah, and this guy is also on a rampage, deep in Swardian lands. But maybe, actually... Let's talk. Bring her to a stop. Let's go to this guy. We are slightly... Oh no, we are actually... We are slower. Okay, it doesn't help. What are these guys so close to our cattle? Drive the cattle onward. Through the forest. Oh yeah, there they are. Okay, so maybe let's do it. No. They're running away again. So we are also rather slow. So because we have foot troops, right? If we had only horsemen or women, then we would be way quicker. Yeah, so if I'm going like this, you can see traveling speed is 2.4, right? So, and the quest Guildmaster can give is the cattle herd. By the way, you see that the game always auto pauses if you don't do anything. So, like I clicked here, we reached the destination. Now it's automatically paused. Hitting the space bar unpauses, So the cattle is going forward. Let's go into Cologne. What do they have? Buy supplies from the peasants, pork, olives, cheese, everything rather expensive. Could we sell the bread? No. Ah, and our guys ate the grapes. So that's bad, as you can see. But it was good for party morale. +3 party morale. Right? Ah, well. Maybe we can sell the rest of the grapes in Suno, right? And it was Suno, right? Yeah. There we go. So we succeeded. Thank God that is done. And now that was actually pretty worthwhile for 435 dinars in this case. So like in the beginning of the game, it's especially if your troops are not that expensive for a week, for a weekly wage, then it's actually a legitimate thing to do. So let's go into Swadia. Let's go into the tavern. Anybody there? Ah. Les Alites, Borja, Caravan Guard, and a Wandering Skull. Very good that we find these guys. So, there are bards and skulls. These guys, what is it you do? And he writes songs. I'm not reading everything because we are coming to an end of this video. But these guys will teach us about marriage and love. But more importantly, well, if we are a man, yeah, and as I said before, we can learn the poems. There are different poems that go well with ladies of different character. And now that we are a woman, we are cut out of that game. But is there a place for me in the game of love? As we are a lady, I will speak bluntly, most of the lords of this land are looking for a demure maiden whose skin as fair as snow, and your skin is burnt brown by the sun. They want a maiden whose voice is soft as bells, and your voice is hoarse from commanding men in battle. Also, although the lords of Caredia appreciate poems about love, most also want hares, and few women can ride and fight while with child. However, not all lords will be so conventionally minded. We poets sing of shield maidens and of huntresses, of women who forged their own path without having sacrificed the chance for love. I would not tell you that it would be easy for you to find a devoted husband who will accept your ways, but I would not say that it is impossible. So that's the thing. Yeah. Being a woman cuts us out of this aspect of the game, but as I said before, we can find a lord, or basically any man, like also our companions, like Borja, for example. Here, this is a guy. If we like him, if he's our type, then we could actually marry him. And let's talk to him. Borja. Ho there, traveler. You wouldn't by chance be in the market for a tracker, would you? Perhaps. What's the urgency? Well, madam, it's a long story. I had a bit of a misunderstanding here in Suno about a horse that I found tied up outside the inn. It was the spitting image of a beast that threw me a few days back and ran off. Naturally, I untied it for a closer look. As it turns out, the horse belonged to a merchant, a pinch-faced old goat who wouldn't accept that it all was a simple misunderstanding and went off to get the guard. But if I was with a larger group who could vouch for me, they might let it pass. I'd be very grateful to you. Perhaps, but how do I know that there won't be a misunderstanding about one of my horses? Madam, I'm offended that you would even think such a thing. I'd be most indebted to you, and you'll see that I show my gratitude. I've ridden over a fair amount of rough country in my time, more often than not in a hurry. I'm a good tracker, and I've got a good eye for terrain. So what do you say? Good, you can be useful to us. I would be very useful to you, madam. You can bet on that. Just one more thing before we leave. Would you mind lending me 300 dinars? I am ashamed to say it, but I have made myself a bit of debt here, staying in this tavern over the last few weeks, and the tavern owners no longer believe that I am loaded with gold as I used to tell them. You know, things could get ugly here if they see me leaving with you before paying them. Well, okay, let's give the guy 300 dinars. Good, he's joined our party. So, this is the guy. And this is also Les Alites, but he's more expensive and we don't have the money. But this is Borja. Ah yeah, and I'm hitting tap now to get out of the tavern. But yeah, let's... No, we are not talking with Lesalid. So he's more the evil engineer guy. Let's leave. Oh no, here we can do it, right? Yeah. Borja, let's talk with him. And now we can equip the special character. So he's very enthusiastic right now. We can equip these characters with stuff. Let's see your equipment. We have to do it via dialogue. So, and here we can give him stuff. So, let's give him a ragged nomad armor. Oh, he has a Kurgid armor. That's actually better. Okay. Let's give him a woolen cap on his head. And he only has a knife. So, let's give him the rusty sword and a club. Maybe, right? Although he doesn't need it. Yeah. No, let's keep it like this. So, and then we can ask him about his skills, which leads us to his skills, where we can also level him up once he gets a level. 300 more experience points, right? So this guy, so there's no class system or anything. It lets us decide what to do. So he is a tracker, yeah, pathfinding and stuff, which is pretty good and pretty important. Pathfinding to increase our speed. And now, and we can ask him something about his story, and we can send him on a quest, yeah. And we can even make him our vassal and give him a town or something, but that would make him independent from us. So we want to level him up for a while. Telling him the story, never mind, let's get out of there. But more importantly, what I wanted to show you now is this thing, the party skill. So he's way better at spotting, at pathfinding, but as we have pathfinding 2 as well, we get this +1 bonus, right? And that's actually not so bad. Because if he is on a mission, then I'm hitting C-like character, our own pathfinding. Where is it? There. Kicks in again, yeah, as a party skill. So it's useful to have one guy who is basically, as I said before, who's specialized, where we skill him for a certain direction and we just add a little bit, yeah. Because we need to concentrate on the leader skills and on being a fighter. Yeah. So, and that's for me personally, I would suggest to keep it at 2 and rather go for the other stuff. Yeah. And you don't have so many points. So if you watch, I will put this video into a playlist for Mount Blade with some highlights later on. To see a little bit more of the game, which might also be entertaining, and then you will see how it goes. But of course, the number of points that we get, they are limited, and you will not be able to be really good at everything, of course. Yeah. So, but my personal thinking is actually, like, looking back, that it would be good to have the party skills, yeah, at a reasonable point, so you get the bonus, and otherwise specialize for something else. Yeah, and I think I wasn't so smart there before, but we'll see. I have to check my other save game as well. So otherwise, that's the game. You go around the towns or the villages, collect usually cheaper resources that you sell for higher prices in the cities, but sometimes also in other villages. You get volunteers in villages, or if you attack someone who has prisoners, you can free the prisoners and hire them. We don't see that one right now, but it would be here in the description, right? So they have troops and they have prisoners. Or maybe we can actually run. Oh, and in Suno, let's have a look at the marketplace. So the goods merchant, so they have velvet that sells usually for really a lot. Yeah, and the grapes. So let's sell them. because they are too expensive. Our guys can eat bread and grain. And that's fine. Yeah. We can do the trading. And let's find, for the last thing to show you, let's find one of these Rhodokian guys. Does he have someone that's Count Klages? Oh, King Harlaus. Okay. Oh, let's talk with him. The king. My name is Hardball. At your service, sir. I am King Harlaus, the ruler of Kingdom of Swadia and the Lord of Praven and Yindar. You may be of common birth, but know that I am always looking for good men to fight for me if they can prove themselves to be worthy of my trust. Oh, I notice you're a woman, actually. A woman. What is it? Kind sir, do you have any tasks for us? I need to send a letter to Count Haringoth, who should be currently at Haringoth Castle. If you will be heading towards there, would you deliver it to him? The letter needs to be in his hands in 30 days. Certainly, sir. I intend to pass by Haringoth Castle and it would be no trouble. I appreciate it, Hardball. Here's the letter and a small sum to cover your travel expenses, 30 dinars. Give me regards to Count Haringoth when you see him. So this kind of mission, as we are totally unimportant, we get in the beginning, it's not paying well, but it's more important to get standing with them, and then we get a few other quests. So Haringoth Castle, right? Deliver message. Haringoth Castle, we can click on it. Haringoth. There. And where is it? Now it auto zooms. I just left clicked on it. It's there. Okay. That's this one. And then we would go there and deliver the letter, right? And then we get a little bit of experience. We get good standing with the king, with the Kingdom of Swadia, and that also increases our renown. And that's the game, yeah? And it's all very free. Right now we are unbound. We are not a vessel, but as you just saw, we could also offer the guy, my lord, I have come to offer you my sword and vassalage. My lady, you seem to have the makings of a good war leader. For a woman to show such skill is an uncommon thing in Karaida, but not completely without precedent. Noble women have often taken command of armies after their husbands or fathers were slain or captured, for example. However, I have never heard of a king who granted a fief to a woman, no matter how valorous, simply because he needed an extra vessel. Were I to do such a thing, I would raise eyebrows across Karaida. Men would say that I was besotted or bewitched, or that I aimed to overturn the natural order of things. As much as I regret it, I cannot afford to grant you a fief. And now we can ask him, what if I marry myself into such a position, or what if I were to take one of your enemy's castles by force? Well, in that case, depending on the circumstances, I might be inclined to let you keep it. Did you have another question? So, yeah, that's the thing. So we can interact with the people in a limited way, which leaves us, so the game is actually relatively simple, and this, you just saw all the game mechanics, yeah. And as we are here at Playing Hardball, you know, or you will only get the brutal truth from me personally. This is not like I don't want to sell the game or present it in an especially positive or negative light, for that matter. I'm just telling about my experience, and it's fun. But it's also like really open-ended. It feels at some point, I stopped playing it for a while because it just felt like fighting against the windmills. Because, once you get a castle, you need to put people in, but the enemies are constantly attacking it again. So you need to run around, get new recruits, and then send them into your castle. So it's like, you make 2 steps ahead and then 1 step back. That's one negative aspect about the game. But it is kind of rewarding. At this moment of recording this video, in my playthrough, I am close to getting a wife and marry. I'm not sure what that actually does. I think the wife gives certain quests to us. But the ultimate goal of the game is actually to become king yourself, so you can establish your own kingdom. And the way to go is actually to become vassal of someone, of one of the kingdoms. Yeah, what you like, what you find strategically sound. I personally started in Swadia with my playthrough, and the first castle I got was Haringoth Castle after it was taken by the Rodogs. And then the second one was Mara's Castle, the third one was Vinkort Castle, and usually I just waited for the moment where our own faction attacked a castle or one of our own castles was taken by the other, and they were weak. The garrison wasn't so huge anymore. And that was in that moment of weakness I struck. Yeah, and otherwise I just made my turns as a merchant, making money and collecting the recruits, and always doing this turn. Yeah, and my tip is to get beer in Praven that you can sell. Like, always only sell 1 or 2 units of it when the price is highest, because the price will also decrease obviously if you sell a lot. And then you make your way through Nordlands. I found that worked nicely enough. Yeah, in tier, I think in Wordcheck you get salt. Yeah, so you get, in every town you get stuff. Yeah, I think in Kuraf you get pretty cheap iron, for example. So you make your way around clockwise, or I did that. Yeah, you get spices here in, I think, Nara, Tulga, Isham, or somewhere here. These guys have spices. And then you go around, they have dates. Here the Sultanate, there are dates and I think dyes, which you can sell for really good profit in Yelkala or in the Kingdom of Swadia again, right? So, and then you get, like, the Rodokians, they are good with food. So you've got cheap cheese and fruits and stuff. But of course, the margin, the profits are highest with things like velvet, dyes, yeah, and so velvet and spice is actually the stuff that gives you the most money, right? And I guess you could also be a specialized spice runner. Yeah, just go here and then run around the whole map. But I found it, running like in a circle lets you also get to all the villages and then just collect them. Collect the people to make an army and to train them so you have an effective army, and then put them into your location that you take by force, like this one here, for example, and then have them as a garrison. So, and then, but before doing that, I found it pretty helpful to invest my money into these enterprises in the city. So, and before I found that one out, it took a while. So my guess, or my advice would be to run around and make some money, so you have several thousands in your bank account, yeah, and then you get the enterprise in the city that, after talking with the guild master, that has the best profit margin, right? Just save up the money and get the one that is best, because you can only have one enterprise, so rather save the money for the best one, and then with the reports, the weekly budget, you make constant money, yeah. And if you are an unbound person, then you only need to finance your own party and no garrison, so you can actually make very high profits, probably. And I personally, I would firstly build something. If I had to start over, if I would start over, which I'm not, because it just takes too long, but if I were to start over, I would build something in every city first, and then start thinking about taking a location, yeah, and also like have a lot of money in your bank account firstly, and also maybe and you need to become a better fighter anyway, and get your abilities going and your stuff, right? So you want to have good equipment. Yeah, so all in all, I have to say it was certainly a nice game, but it's also not at the 85 points of 100 threshold, because there are tedious aspects, yeah, and it's like, yeah, it's all rather random, and I think the you know, the number of quests, I mean, there are enough so you don't feel really bored, but at the point it's also very repetitive in my opinion, and I just wanna find out. Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed with someone who plays it so long that you have like everything under control or something, right? But I think that's for me personally that would become too tedious, because it's just this back and forth again, yeah. And there's also no way, by the way, like if you considered you had everything under control here, like my plan in my playthrough actually is, like I have, as I said, Haringoth Castle, Maras Castle, Vincourt Castle, and if I were, you know, to take all these here and I want to have Yalen, so I have something like this here, like a landlocked, or if you start with the Nord and you have word check like this one here and you control these castles around, then they still can come in and attack your city. So you have to maintain everywhere, just for deterrence, a very high garrison in my opinion, or you are constantly bound to the area with your strong party, and you can't go around and make money. So, yeah, but it's at that point it actually simulates nicely the problems in medieval times, right? So they were actually bound to stay in their country, in their area that they controlled, because there was always a risk that their neighbors were actually invading, right? So, and so far it's a nice game. It gives us a lot of freedom to do what we want. What we want is actually, or can be rather pointless, or it can feel pointless, but on the other hand we are evolving, and especially like the early to late mid game is pretty nice because you get a lot of stuff. You know, you loot your enemies, you get new equipment that you can invest in all your characters, like here with Borcha, for example. Yeah, and it's not too much stuff, so there's not too much micromanagement in that sense. I think they did this one nicely with the party, to have these guys. Yeah, you can go different tactical ways, like concentrating on strong infantry, or be only on horseback, yeah, with horse archers, for example, and ride around the enemy and shoot them down or something. Yeah, so that's certainly possible, and it's fun. Yeah, and there are tournaments in the cities, but yeah, we'll see that one in the next in some of the next videos in this playthrough. But I think this is sufficient for an introduction to the game. Yeah, and now you know about Mount Blade. Yeah, the second game, if I think I got this one when it was on sale, and Mount Blade Bannerlord, the second game, was, I think, either very new or was just about to come out or something, but was very expensive, and I didn't feel that I should invest the money. But it's probably more interesting to go for the new game, unless your computer is very old. And then this one might be an interesting thing, right? Yeah, but I mean, the graphics, they are rather bleak and basic, but it does the trick in a way. Yeah. And this is the landscape, Ichamur. We are going around here. over there. This is River Jack. Ruva. Yeah, so. But like as a concept, it's very nice, and given the age of the game, this is certainly a milestone. It introduced a lot of flexibility to players, and I can understand why this game has a huge fan base. There are also a lot of mods. Yeah, so the game itself provided a lot of room for creativity, and that's it. So that's very nice. Yeah, that's me signing off. If you have any experience with the game you wish to share with the community, please do so in the comment section. Any thoughts, anything, any recommendations, please do so. You are very welcome, yeah, to do so. If you want to discuss any tactics, I would like that one too. I will do that in a later video as well, actually, just to show a little bit more with more advanced troops what to do in the game, but it's also rather limited in my opinion. So, yeah. But on the other hand, there are not many games where you actually have the opportunity to be in the action yourself in that way, and that makes it unique and certainly a milestone in the game every serious gamer and basically everybody should know about, right? Because it's digital culture. Alright, so then that's this. Thanks for watching. I would appreciate if you click the like button, and you are very welcome to join the channel. Just click the subscribe button so you never ever miss an episode again. See you next time. Bye bye.